I often wonder if the world conspired gently to bring your name near mine, like wind shaping the edges of destiny until two paths met without warning. I was walking with quiet grace, bound by duty and the unseen rhythm of my crown, unaware that love could slip through silken days. You arrived not as thunder, but as the hush that follows it, the calm revelation that hearts know before words catch up. Your eyes became a compass, guiding me toward the version of myself that laughs more, that dares to feel beyond decorum. I felt history whisper when you smiled, as if the ages paused to listen to our silence. We were never supposed to meet, perhaps, yet here we stand, souls leaning softly against the miracle of timing. I think of that first glance often, how the air felt heavier with meaning, how my breath betrayed me. You became the secret song my pulse hums when the world expects perfection. And I, princess, yet merely a woman, then let my heart step off the golden road and follow yours instead. When I recall that first night, the moon seemed to bend closer, as though curious to witness two strangers unknowingly writing the first line of eternity. You spoke not of grandeur or crowns, but of quiet truths, the kind that thread through the simplest gestures. I remember your hand brushing mine, the smallest spark disguised as accident, yet it echoed within me longer than any orchestra. I had been taught to guard, to stand tall behind polished words and tempered smiles. Yet, with you, every wall became glass, and every breath betrayed my attempt at indifference. You didn't chase my title. You listened to my pauses. You looked not at the gold around me, but at the girl behind it. The world around us dimmed, and in that dimness I saw clarity. Love, I realized, doesn't always arrive crowned in thunder. It sometimes walks softly, dressed in fate's gentlest disguise. And I, sworn to duty, felt my vow quietly rewritten by something older, purer, uncontrollable. The truth of finding someone who feels like home in a world built on ceremony. Since then, I've learned that love doesn't ask permission to enter the corridors of a royal heart. It arrives unannounced, sits beside you in silence, and begins rewriting every map you thought you understood. I tried once to rationalize the pulse that stirred when I saw you, to frame it within the language of reason, but love mocks logic. It lives in the folds of feeling. I'd gaze from palace windows at gardens blooming with restraint, wondering if every petal knew the ache of yearning. You taught me to see the world not as heirloom or obligation, but as a living poem. Even the wind became your letter, the rain, your whisper against the marble walls. I began to move differently, to feel the softness of the moment rather than the weight of tradition. The world saw a princess standing still. Inside, a girl was learning the art of surrender. And every step I took after meeting you carried your rhythm, as though fate had pressed your name into the souls of my being, marking me forever yours. There are moments when I still wake in the hush before dawn, tracing the memory of your voice as if it were written upon the walls of my soul. I remember how you said my name, careful, reverent, like it was a secret meant for prayer. In that instant, I understood what eternity might feel like, not endless, but deeply present. You made time itself breathe slower. My laughter became freer, my silence more meaningful, and my duty somehow lighter because it carried your unseen blessing. Even the corridors of the palace seemed less lonely, their echoes softened by invisible company. There's a kind of strength that love gives to those who cannot choose freely, an inner rebellion made of tenderness. You taught me that freedom isn't escape, but belonging. And when I stand before my people, poised in royal grace, my heart still beats to a rhythm that is wholly ours. It is your unseen hand that steadies me, reminding me that the crown on my head is lighter when your love rests quietly beneath it. Sometimes I wish you could see how often you live between my thoughts, like sunlight trembling through lace curtains. I carry you in my gestures, in the way my hand lingers on the air before waving to crowds. And though the world sees perfection sculpted in protocol, you know the pulse beneath it trembles for something human, something real. I never told you how your presence softened my world of rules into something resembling a dream. You reminded me that even under a crown, a heart beats without permission. I read your letters beneath moonlight, each word a spark that refuses to fade, and sometimes I whisper your name to the stars, daring them to understand what they've witnessed. The distance between us feels vast, but the soul knows no borders. Wherever I stand, I feel the pull of your name written into my very pulse, guiding me back again and again to the path that found us first. Every love has its quiet wars, and ours is fought with silence and longing disguised as composure. There are eyes upon me always, weighing, measuring, believing they understand the girl who wears grace like armor, yet inside I am made of soft storms. I still remember the night I promised myself to secrecy, not because I feared scandal, but because something sacred loses shape when spoken too soon. You and I exist in the spaces between moments, in the breath before I speak, in the tremor of my hand when I imagine yours. The world cannot know the freedom I find in remembering you. My smile hides 1,000 unspoken verses, each one carrying your name like a prayer folded into the royal fabric of my days. If ever you doubt your place in my world, remember this. Love doesn't need witness to be eternal. It simply exists, unshaken by time, whispered by hearts that dare to love beyond permission. And ours, though hidden, burns brighter than all the chandeliers that light my gilded halls. I think love teaches humility, even to those born to stand above others. You made me see that no crown shines brighter than the glow of sincerity. When we first met, I was careful, too careful, measuring each word, weighing every glance, afraid of feeling too much, too soon. Yet your patience undid every defense. You never demanded, never pushed. You simply stayed. You taught me that love is not conquest, but quiet companionship, that being seen truly is the rarest gift. I found in you not a subject to my story, but a mirror to my truth. With you, I am not Leonor the princess, but Leonor the soul, flawed, feeling, fiercely alive. Sometimes, when the palace grows still and the world sleeps beneath its own heavy stories, I let myself imagine a simpler life where our love could breathe without borders. And though it remains a dream, it is one I cherish, not as fantasy, but as proof that the heart remains ungoverned, even by destiny. You once said that fate is not written in the stars, but in the courage of those who follow what their hearts whisper. I hold on to that. Every time I walk through the corridors of expectation, I repeat your words quietly, like a vow only my soul can hear. You are my courage, the unseen strength in every gesture of restraint. I sometimes picture you walking beneath an open sky, unaware that my thoughts follow like shadow. I imagine the world through your eyes, simpler, freer, more forgiving, and it humbles me. I wish I could share every sunrise I see from my balcony, every breeze that carries the scent of roses you once admired. Love, for me, has become a constant translation, from heart to duty, from feeling to formality, from desire to silence. Yet even in silence you remain vivid. You are the hidden path beneath every step I take, the pulse that reminds me that love, though unseen, is never unreal. Sometimes I wonder what my life would have been if our paths had never crossed, if duty had continued unbroken, and my heart had never known rebellion.